Today's interview is with a lay pastor, and this is Paula Prosser. Now, you might recognise the name. Paula has been fantastic in doing the reflections for us since beginning of lockdown. Paula, is it? When is it?
Yes, I started the first Sunday after lockdown because we're in the period of Lent, so I decided to kind of continue doing the Lent reflections that we would have done in church. Fortunately, I recorded them all up to Good Friday on the Monday before I went into lockdown in the church, so I was able to put them out.
And you carried on doing
and
that?
I decided that I had to do something for Easter Sunday.
Yeah.
And then I just thought, do you know something? This is reaching more people than attend church. It's reaching people who have close links but not actually attend. So I felt that it was important to carry that on.
Well, the feedback that I've heard, because we share them wider than the Facebook page, has been really appreciative, and I thank you personally for doing them, Paula. Now, Paula is a lay pastor. She's an extremely good friend of mine. We get up to all sorts of malarkey, doing all sorts of stuff, don't we? All in the name of work, I might add.
Absolutely.
So, for people that don't know, Paula, what is a lay pastor, or what do you believe your role is? And what have you been doing prior to lockdown?
Prior to lockdown, I was doing similar to what a minister does, who has a collar around the neck the wrong way around, and caring for the congregation at Boothtown and South Arham, and looking wider into the community, but you know, going to try and get involved with everything that happened at church. So be at the coffee morning, go to the Boys and Girls Brigade, and the toddler group and things like that, and being a presence that I feel privileged because I can do that. I haven't got, yes, I work in another church and I do other work, but I feel I can immerse myself into that, and I made a commitment to preach twice a month there,
right?
Because that's what they wanted. The congregation were asked, what do you want of your lay pastor? And they wanted continuity, and so they asked if I could preach twice a month wherever possible, and that builds up the relationship.
Absolutely. And that gives them then some consistency, and they know that who they can turn to as a leader, doesn't it? Because it's really important that we have strong leadership.
It does. And I've worked there for a number of years, and I've got to know the people in a far deeper way over the past 18 months since I became lay pastor there.
Thank you. How has it changed since the pandemic started and we went into lockdown? Because suddenly everything's shut, churches shut, people couldn't go to worship. How's your role changed during that time, and how have you been during that time?
It's changed tremendously, because suddenly you've no church building to go into, you've no congregation to join with on a Sunday morning, so not being funny about Boothtown and South Arham, but it's a predominantly older congregation. A lot of them can't cope with new technology. So what I do is I prepare a service each week. The majority of it is taken from the Methodist website. Methodist Church on the website produce a service.
Yeah.
But I felt that I didn't want to share the reflection on that, because I wanted to put my own reflection in, and so I try and make it personal to the congregation at Boothtown and South Arham.
Yeah.
And so that's emailed out and posted out to those who aren't on email. I try to ring, the members of the church wherever possible, more so to those who live on their own.
Yeah.
Because I think that's really important.
Yeah.
Because if you live with somebody, you've got company, you can kind of discuss things. But when you're on your own, and although they may be getting phone calls from lots of other people, I felt as pastor of the church, I need to care for my flock in this time.
And I know you said to me that you've been concerned, you've not broken any confidentiality, but you've been concerned about some of the stories that you've been hearing, because it brought lots of things up for people being on their own and no contact, and that must have been a really difficult for you, Paula, to deal with.
Yeah, because your normal reaction is if somebody's got a problem, the normal reaction is I'm going to go and see them.
Yeah.
But you can't do that, and you can't do it. So it's been difficult, that, because I've wanted to go and give somebody a hug when they've needed a hug, and you can't do it. So that's a real challenge.
Yeah, because we work closely together and we see each other 3 or 4 times a week.
Absolutely.
We do work in schools, and this is the first time we physically met for about 8 weeks or so, hasn't it?
It is.
We've seen each other on Zoom, but it's just not the same, is it?
No, and I think you need that personal contact. It's surprising now just seeing people. I've seen a few people kind of the last 3 weeks or so, and it makes a difference when you're actually physically seeing somebody as opposed to over a phone.
What have you learnt about yourself or people in general throughout this, do you think?
I see that when I talk to people on the phone, I know that they're ringing each other up. So even if I can't ring up one week, I know that people within the congregation are getting phone calls. And I think that's so important, that we're caring for each other. And I know, for instance, two of the members, one was having coffee before service, reading the service, and one was having coffee afterwards. And the two of them spoke to each other, and they now have coffee at the same time.
Oh, lovely.
In separate homes, and that felt they were connected.
Yeah.
And what have I learnt about myself? That I can do something on Facebook.
I knew you were going to say that. Paula's the one where she picks. She's a right gardener, aren't you, Paula? You and your husband, you've got an allotment. We've received potatoes and rhubarb and all sorts of stuff, and you receive bread in exchange.
Yeah, it's good exchange.
And when you're doing your reflections, you generally focus on a flower or something. So you're at the other side of the screen now, aren't you? And you always say to me, I can't do technical stuff, but you've really upped your game massively, and it's really reached a lot of people. So I'm going to thank you on behalf of those people, and keep doing it, please. What do you hope for in the next coming weeks?
In the next coming weeks, I hope that I can see some of my congregation face to face, socially distanced. I don't want to rush back into the church building, because I think there's too much to be done within the church building.
Yeah.
I want people to be safe, because the last thing I want to do is open the church building and somebody come in and catch COVID.
Yeah. That's the last thing we want anybody to do.
Yeah.
And there's I suppose there's a knee-jerk reaction to say when you can open for work is to do it, but we've had lots of conversations recently, haven't we, about how people can go back if they want to go back, and there's other ways of meeting and worshipping. You've had some struggles, as we all have, over these last few weeks. Is there anything that brings you comfort music-wise? Now, we've got a bit of an ongoing joke, me and Paula. Her favourite hymn is "Oh, for 1,000 Tongues to Sing." She's going to sing it now. No, she's not.
No, she's not.
No, she's not. And that is Paula's death song. Mine's "Don't Stop Me Now" by Queen. However, that's Paula's death song. Would you turn to that as your go-to tune? You've seen the videos, we've been putting them on. You might have to speak up, because somebody's now doing a drill again.
Yeah.
What would you go to? Could be anything.
Yeah, I mean, I do put hymns on quite often, but I like musicals as well. And one of the ones I like listening to is "Love Changes Everything."
Bit of Michael Ball.
Michael Ball singing "Love Changes Everything." We actually had it as part of the music for when we signed the register when Steve and I got married 24 years ago.
Oh, you've a good memory.
So that because love does change everything.
Yeah,
And
absolutely.
we've seen that, because the love of people within our churches is being shown in a different way now, for the way they're caring for each other by phone calls, the love of people around who are offering to do shopping for
Yeah.
the neighbours and making sure that they're not going out and things like that. So yeah, love changes
Love
everything.
Changes Everything by Michael Ball. And that's a lovely message. Have you got a message to send to people as we close today?
I think my message would be, please stay safe. Please be careful. We see in the media that people are queuing up to go to shops and things like that. Let's not rush things. We've managed for however many weeks we've managed without being in our church building. We've managed to worship together. Alright, it's in a different way, but we have worshipped together. And I think that people need to have the time to reflect and continue this journey, and it's a challenging journey, but to stay safe, to not rush things. Rome wasn't built in a day. We're not going to go back to church on one day and say that's it, because it's not. There's a long journey to go.
At the end of these interviews, Paula, we've been asking what people's prayer requests, because people that do pray, that watch these videos and watch the Bus Oasis page, what's your prayer request today?
I think that my prayer request is for people who have mental health problems. My husband has mental health issues, and sometimes it's been very trying. The days have been difficult, other times have been perfectly alright. So I think for people with mental health problems and addiction problems they're getting support if they know where they can get it from. And again, it's via Zoom, but praying for those who don't have the support, that they can find the support.
A friend of mine, a dear friend of mine, I've missed working with you. Thank you for your love, support and care as always, and thanks for being our interviewee for today.
Oh, thank you.
Love changes everything. Hands and faces, earth and sky. Love changes everything. How you live and how you die. Love